Hey, my name is Kenny Johnston. I'm a director of product here at GitLab. I wanted to share my screen about an issue that I'm going to highlight. Let me share my screen. This was actually pointed out to me by a customer. So I wanted to highlight this for others, and I'll add this video to the bug report that I file. Okay, so I'm in, and this is GitLab product projects general settings. Sitting here looking at the settings, I want to highlight something about the save button. So I'll just kind of go through section by section and show you that there are a bunch of different behaviors for how this save changes button operates, seemingly just dependent upon what section you are on the page. So topics, if I start adding a topic, as soon as I start adding, save changes went from grayed out to green, that I can actually save what I did. But, so that makes sense. That sounds like a cool pattern, like, hey, let's highlight that where the save changes is. When I look at visibility though, I haven't touched anything, and save changes is highlighted in green for some unknown reason. If I change one of those settings, it's still green, change it back, still green. And you notice like I'm having to scroll back and forth to see like, is that button actually green? But presumably I would make adjustments and then this button would show it, or I would just scroll past but it would still point out to me that I could save changes even though I hadn't changed anything. Let's look at this on merge requests. So merge requests says merge method. This is a long settings section. But let's say I change this to merge commit with semi-linear history. Let's just do fast forward merge. That button was gray before, still gray. But now I think I can hover over it. Let's see if I flip it back. Merge commit. Yeah, totally gray, no hover. But if I can actually save it, it's still gray with some hover. So that's different, another pattern. In this one with approval rules, if I adjust these approval rules, I don't know what just happened. Let's see, I want to make that 2. It's weird. Okay, so I made that 2. I think it just saved it, to be honest, but I don't know. It didn't tell me that it saved anything. And this save changes is still gray. But if I check on a box, it turned not gray. This number is 2. Let's just see. I'm going to refresh just to see like did that actually impact here? Yeah, it did. So it did save, even though I didn't know it was saving. And the other patterns were. I'm trying to make this not saved. Okay. The other pattern was that I didn't save until I hit save, but in this approval rules box, it is saving without me hitting save. This pattern is the same in that the checkboxes at least are responding to and turning this save changes button green. This one, add a badge is the green thing, but there's no like, can't not add a badge until you have a name. So that's a different pattern, which is always green, didn't turn green when I've completed the parts of adding a badge that I need to complete. Default description for issue templates. So again, always green, even though I hadn't added anything. Service desk, and just a checkbox. So presumably that doesn't need saving changes, just checking the checkbox. And advanced. All these, yeah, are things that I think I can click on. Don't need to be green. This one is destructive, so is orange. That makes sense. So that's just the example that the customer gave was just that there were a couple of these that were confusing, but when I was going through it, I noticed that almost all of them are totally different UI patterns when adjusting settings in the general settings. That's just the general settings. I think if I look at other settings like CI/CD, I will find a similar situation where save changes is green despite me not changing anything, where, let's see if there's anywhere that's grayed out. Protected environments is grayed out until I select something, and I would imagine it would. I don't have any environments set up on this project, but runners, a whole lot going on here for runners for me, but not really something to save. Variables, I have to add a variable. Add a variable. Yeah, don't get to add it until it's grayed out until I've provided the proper inputs. Pipeline triggers, I can green add a trigger even though I haven't written a description. Cleanup tags. Enable automatic workload. So this green even though I haven't changed this var value. Deploy freezes, can add a deploy freeze, and yeah, it's okay. So that's grayed out. So that pattern is the right pattern. And then pipeline subscriptions. Again, I can subscribe even though I haven't provided a project path. So I think it's pretty fair statement to say that across all of our settings, not just CI/CD, but I imagine all these other ones, there's also just a mix of save UX patterns throughout. So hopefully that helps pinpoint what I'm suggesting in this issue. Thanks, everybody.